of China in the men's singles. The next match coming up is the women's doubles. Matsutomo and Takahashi, the Olympic champions from 2016 from Japan, up against Du and Li from China. And here we got the players waiting outside, waiting to be called on court. But firstly, the court officials have to make their way onto court, so they have a little bit of time. And as you can see, is she having some back problems?
Yeah, definitely putting on some back support there. Sometimes it's just, most of the times I guess, luckily it's mostly a precaution.
Ladies and gentlemen, come here.
It's been a long season. 2018, lots of important tournaments.
Yes, it has been a heavy year. But somehow, as I see it, the circuit is just improving more and more, bigger tournaments, more and more money is coming into it. A lot of new initiatives taking place, and the players somehow just have to get used to playing more events.
Yeah, and I think we've been used to in badminton that the best players, they are winning the major part of the tournament. 2-3 best players are dominating when they're entered into a tournament. They win it, and that's not necessarily the case this year.
No, and here we have the women's doubles. As you can see, Matsutomo and Takahashi, they qualified as a #1 on the race to Guangzhou, where Du and Li qualified as 11, and they only got into the tournament due to the fact that 3 Japanese pairs were not eligible. And here we got Matsutomo and Takahashi. And Du and Li. And obviously we never managed to talk about the fact that how the group stages, how it happened yesterday, but both these 2 pairs won their matches. The Chinese pair beat their compatriots, Chen Qingqian and Jia Yifan. And here the heads-to-head between the 2 pairs is 2-1 for Matsutomo and Takahashi. But last time they played was in the Japan Open, and the 2 Chinese players, they won it at the time. And yesterday, you and I, we had the honor of being commentators on Matsutomo and Takahashi against Poli and Rahayu. And they played well, didn't they?
They looked extremely good yesterday.
But then earlier today, we also saw in the same group that Poli and Rahayu, they lost to Chen Qingqian and Jia Yifan 21-14, 21-8.
Yeah, so that raises some question marks to the form of Poli and Rahayu, in my opinion. I expected more from them.
And here we got Misaki Matsutomo, age 26. At the moment, they are ranked #2 in the world. And they've been as high as #1. They have actually spent 127 weeks as #1. First time was on the 30th of October 2014. Partner here, Ayaka Takahashi, age 28. And of course the same ranking applies, and they won the Olympic Championship, or the Olympic Games, in 2016 in Rio. But they played really well yesterday when we saw them. As you can see here, winning 21-11, 21-16. against Puli and Rahayu in 52 minutes. And Do You, age 20. As we mentioned earlier, they are ranked 11 in the world at the moment, and that's based on 16 tournaments. And they have been number 11 in the world for 10 weeks. They qualified as number 11 to this race to Guangzhou, but 3 Japanese pairs couldn't make it due to the rules of the game here. Partner Li Yinhui is age 21, and of course you can see the same ranking applies in terms of the present ranking, but she has been as high as number 6 with Huang Dongping. Yesterday they beat Chen Qingqian and Jia Yifan 21-19 and 21-15 in 49 minutes. And I was just looking out on the other court yesterday at the corner of my eye, and I could see that there was a comfortable win. Here we got the umpire from Malaysia, Tan Ai Teng. And the service judge is Christoph Oswald of Germany. But what made the Japanese pair so good yesterday when we were commentating on them was the fact that Matsutomo was so strong at the front of the court, really very, very decisive.
Yeah, she was. And they were good, both of them. Lots of pressure from the backcourt from Takahashi under these a little bit heavy, slow playing conditions.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Ayaka Takahashi and Misaki Matsutomo, Japan. And on my left, Li Yinhui and Zhu Yuan, China. 2 years to serve to Ayaka Takahashi. Love all, play.
So to tell you a little bit about the young Chinese pair, they won a bronze at the World Junior Championship in 2014 and a silver the following year in 2015. After that, they've been split off for a while, but back together here in 2018. So far, I would say they've been mostly famous for their mixed doubles. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, Do You with He Jiteng.
1.
And of course Li Yinhui with double Olympic champion Jiang Nan. But yeah, towards the end of the year they made a good run in women's doubles. I actually played a really good match in Japan when they beat Takahashi and Matsutomo on home soil. They moved their defense very, very close to the net, forward to the front court, and could sort of use the Japanese power to their own advantage in terms of counter-attacking. And here we see Du Yue hunting the shuttle on the front court. She was absolutely dominant in that match, and definitely performed better than Matsutomo on that occasion. So that's going to be interesting to see whether she can take charge again on the front court.
Yeah, not only did they win again Matsutomo and Takahashi in that Japan Open, they also beat the world champions.
And same recipe.
So they had a very, very good run in the Japan Open, and that was also the biggest point earner for them in terms of arriving here in Guangzhou. 7,700 points.
Service over. 3-5.
Played. And so far they haven't been able to push their defense enough forward, in my opinion, to Lee.
Yeah, Matsutomo and Takahashi, they have had 4 wins this year. They won the Indonesian Masters, the Malaysian Open, the China Open Super 1000 tournament, and the Korean Open. So it's been a good season for them. It's been a good year, despite that we still think it's been a little bit up and down, and they're expecting a bit more from them.
And they're probably a little bit disappointed because there was no World Championship for them. Never won the World Championships, Takahashi and Matsutomo. There was no Asian Championships for them. Got a silver, just like 2014 when they lost to Gracia Poli and a former partner, Maheswari, in the final. This time it was against CHN and JPN, whom they're going to play in the last group match tomorrow.
They played this. They played really well. The Chinese this morning, I think, in the second match today, and it was good to see that JPN was definitely attacking more and being more aggressive at the net as well, and so on.
That was exactly the case in Asian Games when they won it. They hadn't played particularly well in the team tournament, but from semi-final and in the final as well, JPN was pretty much smashing at everything that was above tape level. It gives considerably better working conditions for her partner Chen, so that could be a really interesting match tomorrow against Matsutomo and Takahashi. In terms of qualifying for the semi-finals, then Matsutomo and Takahashi, they cannot be totally certain of qualifying before the match tomorrow, but if Du and Lee were to win this match, they would actually already have won the group before tomorrow's match against Poli and Rahayu.
But so far, the two Japanese, Matsutomo and Takahashi, has gone off to a very good start, 10-5 up. Again, just like yesterday, playing extremely positive, attacking badminton.
Service over. 6-10.
Played
Service over.
patient attack.
11-6. Interval.
Yeah, but the interesting part is that you say patient, but it's still with a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Here we've got the confirmation, 11-6 in 8 minutes.
連続して連続してる力が使って相手のカット系多いじゃん。カット系に対して早く反応してこういう形作るんだよ。そこが一番メインだよ。
ただこう見てくれば何回のショットもショット準備ね、準備ね。でそこ相手ちょっとレディー1回くれるから問題ないよね。あとこの辺りちょっと先こうスプラスちゃんと準備やなから。守備のフリーとはもっと綺麗だ。
ストレート、その後打ち合わせたクロスっていっぱいあるから、マストモが出したクロスボールだったり、綾香が出したマストモだったり。さあ頑張れ頑張れ。
We saw the Japanese coaches. Here was Hajime Kumiyama and the
11-6.
men's doubles coach Rioni Meineke, and that's because the national women's doubles coach Kei Nakajima is occupied on the adjacent court where the world champions Nakahara and Matsumoto, they're involved in a fantastic women's doubles match against Lee and Shin from Korea.
Yeah, what a choice to have. What court am I going to sit on?
The Olympic champion or the world champions?
Yeah. That's clever. She's able, Takahashi, to get that cross court. It's not an easy shot.
Oi.
14-6.
Alert by Matsutomo, and it was about now I would expect to see some results from the coaching at the interval. Sometimes just when you come out, yeah, there's quite severe strapping there on the left knee of Duyue. Sometimes when you come out, as in this case, 11-6, then maybe the first two rallies you have to sort of adjust to an eventual change of plans. from the interval, and then suddenly you get the hang of it. So it should be about now.
Yeah, we have a challenge.
Challenges. 4 in.
The shot is called in on the back line, and the two Chinese are challenging. And that's definitely in, which means that it's
Challenge unsuccessful.
15-6.
1 challenge remaining. 15.
But am I correct
6.
that from the match you saw in Japan some months ago and to this match here, Takahashi and Matsutomo is simply just playing too fast. They are really all over the place. They're putting a lot of pressure.
Yeah, but I think the Chinese, they are playing the Japanese's game, so to speak. They are not at all
6.
thinking offense in their defense. Their defense is, in my opinion, at least a step too far back. That gives them no chance of counter-attacking.
17.
And I think that was what they were so successful in doing back in the Olympic venue in Tokyo. Getting a lot of time, both Matsutomo and Takahashi, when attacking. The Chinese pair should lift much more flat. That's well played.
Yep, you cannot afford that. That was really well played by Lee Yin-hui here in the picture.
I still think it was a little bit more by chance that
It was
sort
just
of
instinct.
yeah, it wasn't really a plan to play it like that. Then I think they should do it. They should seek the flat game, seek the game on the front court to activate their mixed doubles skills. There's one player on court that doesn't play mixed doubles, and that's Ayaka Takahashi. So if they can sort of complicate things on the front court, I think they would have a much, much better chance. Any reaction from Pan Lee, the Chinese coach, outside the picture here. She's normally very vocal and animated in her coaching.
Or maybe she doesn't have the answers yet, or
yeah,
maybe undecided on what to say.
Yeah, but this rally here where they kill it from mid-court or so, here it comes. That's the situations that they should seek. Targeting Matsutomo, moving backwards in sort of regular offense, defense. I don't think they have a chance at all. Well, fantastic.
But she's really light-footed at the moment in this tournament. You know, normally she's just floating on the court. But I think in this tournament she is really light-footed. And here I'm talking about Matsutomo.
Service over. 9-20.
Yeah.
Game. Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi. 21-9.
So yet another sterling performance here by the two Japanese, Takahashi and Matsutomo, taking the first opening game 21-9 in 17 minutes.
チェンジしたら自分のストレス場所を準備してね。簡単よ。まあ低いからね。ちょっと。
あやかさんの3球目。
哎，我高考肯定会打回来，我罚一直罚，你知道吗？
So I think it was interesting here in the interval. You pointed it out yesterday, how the Japanese coaching system is working, and they're bringing in the club coaches as well, alongside with the national coaches, which I think is great. But not only that, you could see it was like on equal terms.
Yeah.
So it's not, okay, I'm just here listening.
No, and I think that's because it's Rioni Meineke. He's not normally working with the women's doubles. He's with the men's doubles. So here, I actually think Rioni is also same team as Kumiyama, but here he's definitely left it to Hajime Kumiyama. So that's important to get some challenges as well as the coach to develop yourself. And I mean, things were going according to plan.
Denmark, service charge. George Den Judger. Mauritius.
1 love.
But what you are kind of going at and want Lee and Du to do is you want them to step one step forward and start being much more aggressive in their counter-attack.
Aggressive in the defense.
Yes.
And look for the opportunities that occurs in the transition phase. And I want them to lift much flatter so that they put pressure on the backcourt player with a Japanese pair.
I totally agree on it. I just think it's trouble doing it here because the shuttles are slower.
Yes.
And that is taking the sting out of the counter-attack.
So I totally agree. I think they will lose anyway. But I think it's still their best chance. Because the advantage that they could get from the counter-attacking play is lesser here than in a faster hole. But having said that, the Musashino Sports 4 Plaza, the Olympic venue in 2020, that was not a fast venue either. I just think this is the slowest venue we've had this World Tour.
You were not in Paris. I was in Paris and that was slow. I can assure you that was slow too. But yeah, this is slow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Court 2, women's singles. Ted Yifei, China. Michelle Lee, Canada.
She's been very successful doing that, these crosses as well from the front of the court, which is not something I've seen from her a lot in the past. There's something new sort of added into her game.
And that's also so important too. Even if you're at the top of the world, look for those small possibilities of enhancing your game, because all the other pairs, they'll be looking at you, kid, to figure out how to beat you.
Definitely, you always have to try to find the edge. And I remember yesterday I said, which maybe some people will find very odd, when I was commentating on PV Sindhu. Said, you know, she can play actually decent, good women's doubles. We've seen that when she's playing Yuba Cup for India. And maybe to use some of that into her women's singles could be a bonus for her.
Yeah.
Always trying to find the edge or whatever you can add into your game.
Yeah, if you have an area of the court where you're better than your opponents, then you should try to get to play on that area as much as possible. I just checked the entry list for Malaysia Masters.
Yeah, that's coming up in January.
The first Super 500 in the new World Tour calendar year. And Du and Lee, they're not entered into that tournament. It's not like they're entered with anyone else, but it seems like they're going through winter training, Chinese winter training. There are Chinese participants, Li Wenmei and Zhang Yu, but not these two here, so I don't know whether they'll have started that already. I don't think they would, but the Chinese Super League is...
It's just finished, isn't it?
No, it started. It's just taking a 1 week break whilst the World Tour Finals is going on here, so... Like you said earlier, the players, they've got to get used to more tournaments.
Yeah, it becomes a little bit more like tennis, if you can say that,
Yes.
where you have more upsets. You can see someone 50 in the world beating someone who's top 10, which we have never been able to see in badminton in the past. But we are getting closer. We are getting closer to more upsets, and because the players simply cannot stay on top for that long.
Yeah.
7-2.
And I think it's a good development, but it takes time to get used to it. I remember some 20 years ago when Kim Jong-un was a dominant player, there was 1 year he only played 4 tournaments. He won them all, but
yeah.
Maybe not played 4 tournaments, but had 4 tournaments that were counting towards his world ranking, which was an average back then. It didn't really encourage you to play tournaments if you had some good results.
China. And on my left, Michelle Lee, Canada. Michelle Lee, serve.
Yeah, in order to get a more accurate ranking, the more tournament counts, the more accurate it's going to be.
Yeah, and also it depends on, I've often discussed with people in Denmark saying, oh, so they're the best in the world. No, they're #1 in the world according to the scoring system that we've chosen for the world ranking. And if you change the scoring system, there's a chance that you might get another #1. Sometimes both things are accurate, that you're #1 in the world and also the, in fact, best player pair, but not always.
It's out.
Service over.
So that was a rare mistake here from Takahashi. Smashing mistake. That's not very often you see that.
No, but she's also taken 5-6 steps while she's been trying to control her anger with herself on the back of the court.
I can't remember when you see smashing errors from her. She is so safe in what she's doing from the back of the court. That's out.
Slipped a little bit.
Yep. I actually don't think it was because the court was wet. You know, it can happen even though...
the way she came forward.
Exactly.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, please.
Didn't see the last shot in this rally from Lee Yin-Hui, but I think it was significant. She was trying to play a clever shot from way below the tape, from the mid-court area, cross.
9,
So
4.
I think there's a tendency that they're trying to, specifically Lee Yin-Hui, trying to play the quotation mark clever shots, the one that doesn't require that much work.
Service
And
over.
I don't think you can do that before you have
5,
made
9.
a lot of hard work, fired a lot of full power smashes and sort of
Pushed them back.
pushed them back. If you too often go for the clever shots, it's a sign that you're not really willing to do the hard work needed, and without hard work in this arena here, you don't get anywhere.
Service over. 10, 5.
That was just a bad drop shot. I mean, what
Yeah,
should
was
Do
this-
Yue do? She was totally sold by
Yeah.
Lee Yin-Hui.
There's nothing you can do. You have to take
You have to go a little bit back and the clever cross drop.
plenty of time to play it. And here, 11-5 at the mid-game interval, having won the first game at 21-9. Matsutomo and Takahashi, 14 minutes for the mid-game interval.
クリアよくミックスやってるから
今もっと自分パターン綺麗からパターン
そう
来たりね
そこで外してで自分であと一回ブロックでもいいしちょっとそのテンポだけやってほしい
自分のディフェンスのパターン綺麗だからもうどんどんパターンが
やっぱり今みたいに必ず連続性を出せないそれでも連続取って取らない頑張れ
11-5. Play.
But there's definitely, they have the potential, this young Chinese pair, I think. You know, being young also means that you're not completely steady in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And some days you're really playing well, others not so well. And I think, you know, when you look back at the All England, for instance, this Chinese pair, they lost to the eventual winners, Camilla Oda-Yul and Christina Peterson. But it was 22-24, 24-22,
Yeah,
and then 16 in the last game. And they went on to win it,
exactly. So,
which just shows that that was one of their good days.
yeah. There's so many small margins in sport that sometimes go unnoticed. One of the famous ones that I think of is the Olympics in men's doubles, where Carsten Mogensen and Mathias Bohl lost in the group stage because they lost a game towards or against Chris Langridge and Marcus Ellis. Had they not lost that game, they didn't lose the match, they won the match. Had they not lost that single game, they would have gone on to the quarterfinals, playing Hayakawa and Endo, where Hayakawa had a serious back injury. In the semi-final, they would have played a pair they had really good head-to-head against and so on. So I think they could go home from the Olympics saying we lost in a group stage, but we could just as well have become the Olympic champions.
Yeah, it all depends on how it goes.
Yeah.
Whether you got the lock the way you want it.
11.
Well, it's a good fight back here by the Chinese. They were 8-2 down. Now down to 4-point gap here, 7-11. So the last 4 points here gone the Chinese way. And closing the gap now just to 2 points. And that was an important point here for Takahashi and Matsutomo. It's very important to get the point after the interval.
Yeah.
You know, get going, get some points.
Excellent. I like the flat push by Li Yinghui there.
Yeah, somewhere halfway in this rally. She was playing one of these half-court shots from a very, very low position, and she got out of trouble, so to speak, on it. But she was a bit lucky that Takahashi didn't kill it. It's shots that Yuta Watanabe would play as well. He would sometimes play shots like that from low positions. And the longest rally here, 56 shots. So just 1 point in it between these two pairs now, 12-11. Du Yue serving.
And a whole different complexion now, because from a Japanese perspective, it looked like all peace and no danger at the interval, but now they're under pressure.
Yeah, they lost a little bit of a momentum, no doubt. Maybe a little bit of insecurity is creeping in.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, she went forward into that one. And really whipped it cross court.
A little bit like a table tennis backhand, actually.
Yeah, you can say that.
She was trying to put some topspin on it.
13-12.
I think it was basically a good rally for Lee and Du. But also nice play by the Japanese to get it below the tape to Lee and Hui.
Yeah, and at that crucial stage. So, Steen, if you were going to rate the 5 categories in terms of how competitive they are, and of course, starting from the top, say, what is the most competitive?
Women's singles.
Exactly. Then I like you to go on. Then I like you to go on that one. What do you think?
That's a difficult question. In this tournament here, or in general?
I was just thinking in general.
In general?
Yeah. Oh, that was not nice. I got you thinking there.
Yeah, because I want to get this right. And I can't, because it's all a matter of opinion. But I think women's singles is a level beyond the others in terms of competitiveness and depth. And the thing is, I'm not really sure how to rate the top level in the other 4 categories. That's where the difficulty lies. So I think it's a question that I can't answer in
certain terms.
In the short time we've got here. It will be a long, boring explanation.
I'm merely asking you.
Yeah.
Because so often they say that women's doubles is, you know, it's not exciting to watch and all that.
I think it's exciting to watch, and I think that there's some strong pairs in top 10. But it's also a fact that if we go below quarterfinal level in the bigger tournaments, some of the matches are quite lopsided.
Yeah.
But that basically also goes for the other 3 categories, except for women's singles, in my opinion. That there's a strong top. And in women's doubles, there's not one dominant player or pair that is actually the case in all the other categories, so to speak. We have Kento Momota, who in my opinion is a dominant men's singles player. We have Tai Su Ying in the women's singles. We've Gideon and Sukamuljo, and we've Zhang Siwei and Huang Yachong. Whereas in women's doubles, we've got
many pairs.
3, 4, maybe even 5 pairs. The 3 best Japanese pairs, where I think it's an odd situation that we don't have the number 1 pair on the world ranking present in this tournament. I don't think it's ever happened before, and that's maybe why it could happen, because nobody's thought of it as a possibility. There's this exemption for reigning world champions, or in the year where there's only Olympic champions, the reigning Olympic champions, they're exempt. Maybe it should be...
And world number 1s.
World number 1s, giving them an exemption as well, but I don't think it's ever happened before that they didn't qualify.
No, it's unseen before that, you know, you have a nation so strong that the world number 1 cannot qualify.
Yeah, actually, I don't think so, because I think China has been that dominant as well.
Yeah, but that's years ago.
Exactly. But they've just had 1 or 2 pairs that were really, really strong, whereas Japan has 3 pairs that are almost equally good. And that means one of them doesn't qualify, because otherwise you would have had the Olympic champions not qualify, or the world champions not qualify.
You could choose.
Yeah.
It's an awesome rally, this one.
Yeah, we have some good women's doubles here while we're chatting.
Both players are really trying to make the push here.
Excellent.
Play.
Now, well played, 17-15 here for Matsutomo and Takahashi, and that's going out. Adventurous return of serve here by Lee Hin-wei.
That's too costly, you can't afford that.
No, two return of service errors here for the Chinese pair. And that's giving 2 easy points, of course. And probably a gap too big, 4 points here.
I think so.
Yeah, the quality of that is not so good.
Service over. 16-19.
Takahashi having a little word with Matsutomo.
Good return of serve.
Yeah, it was. But I'm not sure Takahashi is entirely satisfied with her partner for the last 3 shots. Oi! Fantastic save. No.
Yeah. No, I could hear that.
Yeah.
Service over.
Yeah. Too adventurous.
20. Match point. 17.
Against the best front court player on court. Seems like they're putting themselves in a good position to move on to the semi-finals. Takahashi and Matsutomo.
And this is where you see it sometimes that Matsutomo is a bit shaken when it comes to serving, when it's getting really close. I still remember at the Olympics, she was really shaking in that final.
But she was also dominant the last 5 points, the crucial points for the Japanese pair. She stepped up.
That's out.
She's made some winners, but it's also from her racket that the mistakes are coming at the moment, whereas Takahashi seems really, really solid.
But all credit to the 2 young Chinese players. They have really stepped up and playing extremely well here in the second game after having lost the first 21-9. I really think they've picked themselves up. We actually didn't anticipate them to be able to do so. That's out.
Game.
And they were under a lot of pressure here, the two Japanese players, Matsutomo and Takahashi, in the second game. What a wonderful women's doubles we have been watching here in this second game. Really, really the best quality. And it was a fantastic comeback here by the two Chinese players. They've lost 21-9, 21-19 to Matsutomo and Takahashi. And here we got the confirmation. 21-9 and 21-19 for Matsutomo and Takahashi from Japan. So it all started with men's singles. Tommy Sukiyato of Indonesia lost to Samir Verma 21-16, 21-7. That was followed by women's doubles where Chen Qingchen and Jia Yifan beat Poli and Rahayu of Indonesia 21-14, 21-8. A match where one of the rallies were 153 shots. The third match on was men's doubles, Endo and Watanabe beating Chen and Wang 21-19, 21-19. Then that was followed by men's singles, Chi, the All England champion, beating Anthony Ginting of Indonesia 21-8, 21-19. And finally, as what we saw here in the women's doubles, the Olympic champions from 2016, Matsutomo and Takahashi from Japan, winning 21-9, 21-19 against Du and Lee of China. We have a lot more badminton coming up for you at 6 o'clock tonight. And just look at the opening match, Tai Su Ying from Chinese Taipei, the world #1 against Pusalavi Sindhu of India. So much more good badminton to come up in the hours to come tonight. I hope you have enjoyed this afternoon with us. Please join us again tonight at 6 o'clock when we go live from the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals here in Guangzhou, China. Until then, from Steen Peterson, myself, Morten Frost, and the rest of the crew, bye for now.